On the edge of a Polish city, next to some factories, stands the world's tallest Pope statue, forgotten and slowly falling apart. Why was it built? And what does this giant monument have to do with a miniature park? Let's find out. I'm in Częstochowa, one of Poland's most important pilgrimage cities. Most pilgrims come here to see the famous painting of the Black Madonna. Her face has 2 slash marks that, according to the legend, were caused during a Swedish siege in 1655, when a much larger army was said to have been miraculously halted here. Because of this event, Częstochowa became a major pilgrimage destination and is now filled with churches, some of them looking totally nuts. But that's not why I'm here. I'm heading to a former quarry, where a miniature park is located, or at least what's left of it. I wasn't sure where the entrance was, so I just let the giant Pope statue guide me. After being welcomed by a few locals, I reached the main attraction. To understand why it was built, we have to go back to the beginning. It's 2011, and Golden Mountain, Park of Sacred Miniatures, has just opened, aiming to capitalize on the city's constant stream of pilgrimage tourists. The park featured miniatures of religious buildings from Europe and Asia, a reconstruction of Roman catacombs, and numerous biblical scenes. There was also an amusement area, featuring a massive playground, a racetrack, a trampoline park, and many more attractions. Visitors could even stay overnight in these mountain cottages. Sounds like a great amusement park, right? But the park struggled to attract visitors, so the owners needed to come up with something different. Something that would make pilgrims take a detour. Something big. So, in 2013, the world's tallest statue of Pope John Paul II was unveiled. Standing at 14 meters tall, it depicted the former Pope. The opening attracted a lot of attention.
Największej na świecie statuły błogosławionego Ojca Świętego Jana Pawła II.
It is nearly 14 meters high, made of fiberglass, and stands on a hill near the city of Częstochowa.
Although not all the attention was positive. Critics called the statue overly commercial and over the top. Others thought it was simply ugly, with some arguing it looks more like Mariusz Pudzianowski than the Pope himself. Still, attention is attention, and after all, Polish people love their Pope, and it seems they can't get enough of him. So, it worked. The statue became a success and brought in many visitors. For a while at least. So, what went wrong? Poor promotion, poor organization, high ticket prices, and overly ambitious expansion plans led to its downfall. By 2020, the park was forced to shut down. The miniatures and much of the infrastructure were left behind, slowly decaying, and the abandoned site began attracting a new kind of visitor, urban explorers. Arguably, the park sees more people today than in its final years, because even on a random Tuesday evening, I came across multiple groups wandering through the ruins. Unfortunately, most of the miniatures have been vandalized and are beyond recognition. Here are some comparisons of how it used to look and how it looks like today. The remains of some buildings are still standing. This, for example, used to be the entrance. trash is scattered everywhere, along with these flyers that remind you of what the park once was. Here are some of the attractions that probably still had to be constructed. And this wouldn't be a proper abandoned amusement park without a scary clown. And Moses is also still chilling here. The location is beautiful though, with a great view over this 30-meter limestone wall. The Pope statue has been graffitied on, but the structure still looks sturdy. And this little door in the back of the Pope allows you to go inside and climb it. For some reason, I expected the statue to be made out of stone, but most of it is actually fiberglass. That's why the sun can shine right through and create these cool visuals. Here we arrived in the head chamber, and if you poke your head through a hole made in the right shoulder, there's a great view over Częstochowa and the Pope's nose. After its closure in 2020, several attempts have been made to sell the park while it was still in relatively good condition, but without success. Until, at the end of 2025, it was sold, but for a fraction of its original value. What comes next is still unknown, but one thing is clear: the park itself is beyond saving. Let's just hope this statue remains, if only as a reminder of the ambitious plans that ultimately led to the downfall of Golden Mountain. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.